being an entrepreneur now, I've been a full-time entrepreneur for about a year, and the part about being an entrepreneur that is hard to stomach is not knowing when you're going to get paid. Because like when you come from a corporate environment and you have a guaranteed salary, while your income is relatively fixed unless you earn some kind of bonus or commission, you know how much money you're going to make. So then what happens is when you have a job, you kind of set up your expenses, right? Where, you move somewhere where your rent, your car note, your insurances, and your general day-to-day living expenses all fit within your salary. Mm-hmm. And also, that just psychologically, the way that you think about your money, that's why you live paycheck to paycheck almost always when you have a corporate job, because you're going to use as much of the salary as you can, and you're only thinking in a short-term way. And that's something that you just said that inspired me to say that. Like, so the part that's awesome about being an entrepreneur is knowing that, okay, something just came up. I need to make $6,000 this week. So I know I can work 12 hours a day and I can make that money if I need that money. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I can find a customer, I can get a referral, I can do cold outreach, I can get a new lead on the phone. I can create money out of almost thin air, right? By finding an opportunity. So that's the awesome part. So, but how do you deal with the up and down of it? Does that make sense? Where you have a really great week and you make $10,000 in a week, and then you have 3 weeks where you don't get a single sale.
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. I went through the exact same thing. What ends up happening is if there's...
And also let them know, how long have you been an entrepreneur? What do you do exactly, so they have a... Yeah.
Okay. I've been an entrepreneur for probably the last 10 years. Just running my own business, doing my own thing, and hiring people and kind of working through that process. I've always ran a digital marketing company. And talking about the added pressure of making sure you make deals and whatnot, the biggest thing, the less money you have in the bank, the more short-term thinking you are. So you'll discount certain things and just to get those sales through the door, which is fine.
Yeah, 100%. Like, so when you were talking to me, and for everyone listening, Grinner's been a super big help in terms of marketing strategy and really just the way that you think about running your business. It's really, really helped me a lot. You give me some gems that, like, literally, I've gotten gems from you that helped me make money in the same exact week that I heard it from you. And there were clients where I would do things like, okay, if you pay in full, then I'll discount 20% off. But it was really because I needed the cash flow.
Exactly.
Like, I needed cash.
Exactly.
And like you said something, and you were about to turn up, which is why I wanted to record. You said, dude, you need to have as much cash as possible. Word of the day.
Yeah.
Cash.
So the biggest thing I'll say is, for example, Cameron, your mindset was, oh, you're a relationship coach. Right? I said, no, you're not. I said, you're a lead generator. You're a lead generator for coaching companies.
I made money that week.
But now, that's interesting that you say that. So first, changing that vision, changing that philosophy and belief of who you really are, because the real business you're in is actually generating leads. You're not even on the product side of the business, because you can always make the product better as time goes on. Your product is amazing, but I think you focus too much on energy on the product, as opposed to the thing that actually matters, which is lead gen. And same with gyms are the exact same way. Software is a little bit different. Software is actually about like the software, because it could grow just by word of mouth sometimes, right? So you actually have a world-class product.
That's interesting that you just said that way. So that was really deep. I don't think anybody really picked that up. So in what I do, the only way for me to grow my business is cash, because I'm gonna need that for advertising. I'm gonna need that, right?
Yeah.
Whereas what you just said, software can actually grow without having a certain advertising budget.
Exactly.
So the product is what grows the business. Like, improving the product will actually grow the business, whereas me improving my coaching program will not grow the business.
No.
That's true.
In fact, because if you spend too much time on that, you won't be able to get the leads. But also, you cannot say that, oh, my product is 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. Only the market could say that. The only way you get that feedback from the market is having a lot of people go through your program and seeing where people are, or people are not going to the next level, or they're not paying me more for X, Y, and Z reason. Now, talking about cash flow, I think the stress of whatever work that you did.
I want to say something before you move forward. That's really deep what you just said, because number one, I'm naturally a good coach, but you know what's made me, so I procrastinated launching Jaguars then to the public. Like, a coaching service because I wanted to sort of mentally figure out the program, the self-development exercises, the structure, how it would flow, how we would do our calls, where they should be at month 1, month 2, month 3, which, I mean, you do want to have some obvious structure of what you're doing in mind. But you know what actually has made me a better coach is signing up a bunch of students.
There you go.
It's signing up a bunch of students, because then you start seeing patterns and you get obviously practice.
Then you get feedback from the market.
Exactly.
And that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
But I'll say another thing.
Procrastination probably cost me like 6 figures.
More than that, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not thinking about like, oh, what if somebody wants to sign up for a lifetime program? Like, how much are you going to charge for that? 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand? So you're right now you're just thinking, oh, I just want, I want this coaching program, whatever the set price is, and that's that.
Yep.
The best clients that you'll have aren't the new clients that you get from the street. They're going to be the clients that have already paid you some money and they already see some value in what you're doing.
Right.
Those are a $5,000 client
Right.
is better than a client that you don't know how much he's willing to pay, because the $5,000 could potentially spend another $50,000 with you over the next 10 years. You just don't know that.
Dude, I was listening to Alex Ramosi talk about the life, like he said the fastest way to grow your cash flow is, lead generation, marketing, whatever. And then he said, but the fastest way to increase profitability in the organization is long-term, by focusing on the long-term value of the client. And I heard that, and because I'm a new entrepreneur, that went right over my head. Bro, if you get 10 clients, right? Mm-hmm. And then, that are qualified and actually have the funds where they could spend, and then you just make sure that they still have a need for your service and that they can see a reason to stay with you because of the potential growth opportunity, you can make so much more money by charging these people more. Okay, went the wrong way. By charging these people more than you can just by going and get somebody fresh who doesn't know you.
Absolutely.
And that's what I didn't understand. I did not understand that.
I'll add to that though. I'm gonna add to that. It's not that you're gonna sell them, oh, I'm a great guy, I want you to sign up for the next 10 years. No. At that point, when they get to that level, you're gonna have another product for them that's gonna add more value to their life.
Yeah.
And that $5,000 client will be like, oh, that's $20,000. Let me sit on that, because I do need that at the moment, and that's how you get your top VIP level clients.
Right.
Okay, I want to talk about cash flow for a second. So you're
which is amazing though, because if you had a client who could afford that, right?
Yeah.
And saw the value and also trusted you, you would have to get 10 times as many clients to make the same fucking money.
That's right.
That's the part that, and then when you think, if you're spending money on ads to get that, and then your employees who have to do your video editing and your marketing and all that other shit, that's so expensive. You know what I mean?
So bro, here's actual market numbers from the market. If you have a client, if the average lifetime value of a client is $10,000, let's just say, it's gonna cost you $2,500 to get that $10,000 client, because it costs 25% to get to market. Okay, what I'm really excited about, here's what I want to talk about. You say, some week you kill it, you got a whole bunch of deals, and the following week you get no deals.
Right.
It's very interesting you say that. So here's actually how it works, depending on what your sales cycle looks like. For my business, if I really go hyper aggressive on sales and lead generation and all that stuff, from, let's just say, September 1st until September 15, the fruit of that labor I'll be able to pick in October 1st, the first week of October. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if I do nothing from September 1st to September 14th, but I'm still signing deals, and I got all the deals coming through the door, but the actual work that I'm putting in with my pipeline is zero, even though that September would be a good month, even though I worked less, my December is gonna suffer because I did no work the last 4 weeks. That's all I mean. It depends on your sales cycle. So your sales cycle could be anywhere from a week to 2 weeks, on average.
Yeah.
Would you say that's correct?
Probably about a week.
Okay, so what your next 2 weeks is gonna look like, right? If I average it out, just say 2 weeks. What your next 2 weeks are gonna look like is based upon what you did these past previous 2 weeks.
Yep.
So if you get no deals and
So that's actually highlighting a lack of consistency in my weekly activities.
Absolutely. And the way you become consistent, and here's what I did. I have a handful of friends who, some of them do $600,000 a month, and one of the guys is mentoring me in that. I have a really close friend of mine doing $100,000 a month. And I have a few other guys who are doing really, really well. I send him a message saying, here's my game plan for tomorrow. Here's what I'm doing. He doesn't message me back. Nothing. Once in a while he does, and he'll be like, hey man, you didn't send me an update. Oh yeah, sorry. Then I'll send him over an update.
Oh,
just because that guy will be able to see small little holes in your thing because he's ahead of me at the moment.
Right.
For this period of my life. And so again, association is a big one, right?
It really is, man. It really is, man. Like being an entrepreneur, I'll say this too. Being an entrepreneur has changed my life in a bunch of ways. So, I've worked in sales for the past 10 years. So it's not like I'm unfamiliar with the idea of making money. But check this out. I always thought I knew how to make money up until recently. Now I legitimately am starting to understand that making money, right, and running business is a completely different paradigm shift than how you think, even as a salesperson working in somebody else's organization. Like the way that I think about the cycle of lead generation and marketing and nurturing prospects and handling sales calls and then getting clients and then increasing the lifetime value of the clients to increase profitability. I'm seeing the world a little bit differently, to be completely honest
Wow.
with you.
Yeah.
And look, there are guys on my program like who are millionaires and stuff. And now that I'm finally an entrepreneur, our conversations are different now.
That's right.
And like there was all this latent opportunities sitting there that I wasn't tapping into because I was limiting myself by fastening myself to a job. Does that make sense?
It does.
Like
make
even
sense.
I've known you for a while, and I remember if you remember this, it was like we were driving down the Las Vegas Strip, and you said we were talking about my audience and everything, and at that time I wasn't even like selling anything. I was like fully just working my job, and I said, how much money do you think there is in the self-development industry? And I remember the look in your eyes. You looked at me and went, millions. And that was, and like, but you said it with so much certainty. And then I heard you, and then that made me think about like Anthony Robbins. I'm like, yeah, sure. But I didn't hear you, man. Like there's so much money.
Yeah.
And there's so many people who could benefit from something like self-development, dating advice, etc. Like it's insane that I settled into like an $80,000 salary.
And here's what I'll tell you. What I've noticed is the longer somebody has a job, the less likely they are to succeed in running their own business. Because they condition their mind into thinking, I show up here, I get paid, and they keep going back and forth. It's very difficult for them to break out of it. Right? I have a cousin of mine that started a construction company. He would be able to move 10 times faster if he's never had a job. He's an engineer, right?
I totally agree.
If he just, like me, I'd never really had a job. I kept getting fired and nobody wanted to hire me. But what that did for me, it got me really good at doing interviews. When it comes to, nobody is better than me at getting interviews. Because I'll talk crazy in the interview and they'll at least take a chance on me for 6 weeks where they find out this guy's doing nothing and then they ultimately fire me. Ultimately, I always knew that I want to be my own boss, whatever that looks like. So
yeah. And I'll say this too, man. Like being an entrepreneur is way harder than being a job.
I would disagree with that.
I think it's way fucking harder,
bro, because when you have skin in the game, you actually become smart. There's a book actually called by Neil. Bro, I recommend this book.
Yeah.
Nassim Taleb. I forget his name,
Yeah.
Right?
Anti-fragile or something.
Yeah, it's one of his books he wrote. Right? But he wrote another book called Skin in the Game. He's like, if you have skin in the game, you actually become smarter.
Oh, it makes you more creative. It makes you more awake.
And it makes you a better salesperson because you actually genuinely care. And here's what I noticed.
Yeah.
The clients that I work with, that I actually care about the client. I work hard for all my clients, obviously, right? But the clients that I genuinely I love and I care about,
Yeah.
I will do extra for them and it'll make me better and it'll give them better results. Because the last little 2-3% that you're putting in, that's the thing that really takes things to another level.
I totally agree.
Are there prisoners in here?
Taxi, transportation. Yeah, I mean, 100%, man. Like the relationship that I have with you as a client is not the same as it is with all my students. It's just not. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Only because I know I have knowledge 6 months ahead of you in a particular thing that you're trying to be amazing at. That's really it. This is why we have such good conversations.
Yeah.
And vice versa, you have knowledge in a certain industry that where you are 6 months ahead of me, even though you put in more time. But the reason why I have a better opportunity than Cam is because Cam never had a Cam in his life. And the reason why you have such a great opportunity now is because, well, that's not even true. I have mentors and I had other people get ahead of me, right? But basically what I'm saying is, I have a better opportunity than the opportunity that you had. Whatever it took you to learn in 6 years,
100%.
you're going to teach me in 6 months.
100%.
And we'll streamline things a little bit faster.
No, it's insane. Like, it took me a decade to master the game. And with the rate of your progression, I think you could be there like in a year. Like where
Wow.
I'm, like near where I'm at. near. Yeah, no, it's fascinating, man.
That's the ego talking.
Being an entrepreneur has just genuinely changed how I look at the world and how I think, and it changes the conversations that I have. It changes how, even like the way, how do I say this? I feel like it's improved my self-esteem because now I know that I'm actually self-reliant.
Exactly.
Like if my son needs something, I'll get the money. I don't have to like have a fucking boss. I don't need anybody to give a. I don't have to care what anybody thinks about my performance.
That's right.
Except my clients, and even them. You know what I'm saying? Like.
But no, even them, it doesn't. I'm a client, so I'm not. You know, but even then, it matters what they say, but it matters more about what the market says.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're getting no new leads, you know, then there was a big problem there. So, but that's the beautiful thing about it, man. You just gotta keep making adjustments. And the guys that I've seen make the most amount of money, they can make adjustments faster than anybody else. And I'm slow to make adjustments.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I totally agree. Like in the game, especially. I don't think you're slow to make adjustments.
Like okay, compared to my friends or the guys that are really tearing business up and making a lot of money in the same industry that I'm in.
Yep.
They'll send something to the market, see how the email performs or the email copy performs, and they'll get the results back instantly and they'll make a change right away. For me, it might take me a few hours before I do that.
I see what you're saying. So that's really interesting that you said that. So being in self-development and being the fact that I'm like autodidactic, I educated myself on self-development, psychology, whatever I know about business, everything like that. Like, you know what I mean? What I learned about learning, when I learned about the process, and this is like really deep. If you want to make a change mentally that will pay dividends to you for the rest of your life, it's this. The more that you can be open-minded to learning, and just like you said, actually making a change in what you do to get a certain result, that is the rate of speed at which you'll succeed. So I immediately know how well someone's gonna do, not based off their potential, by the way. I know how well someone's gonna do when I have the first coaching session with them, and then I give them the first couple pieces of advice about what they should do differently. So if I say, start wearing loafers, stop wearing sneakers, and then they send me their outfit before they go campaign the next weekend, and then it's like Converses, like they made some of the changes, like maybe they have on a polo and like nice denim tucked in, etc., but they're still wearing some kind of sneaker, like fashion sneaker. I know that person is going to have limited success perpetually. Perpetually. It doesn't change because they're hardened. It's only, bro. The more times I have to say something to someone, like this almost sounds obvious the way I'm saying it now, but like the more times I have to say something to someone to get them to make a change, like that is how unsuccessful they're going to be.
Fascinating.
Isn't that interesting?
You said exactly what I said in different industries, but it's the same thing for any industry.
It's the same thing.
And watch this. The market will tell you what it needs to tell you.
Literally, yeah.
But if you don't listen, well, then you'll make no money. This is why.
It's in your face.
Okay, we're at a yoga studio today, right? And Cameron's like, "Hey, do y'all have coconut water?" Right? And they're like, "Oh no, sorry, we don't."
Yep.
You know what I'm about to say.
Yep.
And I wanted to tell her that, but we were just walking out and whatever. I didn't want to go back for whatever reason, right?
Tell her how to run her business.
If she was, like, she really wanted to have the best business that she could have, she would go buy coconut water right now and start advertising it. Because if another person asks her for coconut water, watch this. We're gonna go again, maybe tomorrow, if we have time. Probably not. But if we go again, I'm gonna go out of my way to ask her, "Hey, do you guys have coconut water?" Yeah,
because she didn't learn.
But those businesses go out of business.
And that's feedback. Yeah, but it's so subtle. It's so subtle, bro.
For the people that for the people that care, it's not subtle. It's blasting them in the face. But the people that are just doing their 9 to 5 and just going to work.
Exactly, and that's what I meant when I was saying being an entrepreneur has changed how I look at everything. It really has. Because when you work a job, you're going to keep your job and maintain your salary by doing your one little thing right. As an entrepreneur, I now have to like actually learn how running ads works on different platforms.
Exactly.
I have to actually learn about what makes video editing get certain results? What is quality video
Exactly.
editing? Even though I don't do it, right?
Exactly.
Because I have to manage it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, like, and then you're just paying attention to everything, every opportunity that can help your business succeed and grow. You're open to it. Whereas when you work in some corporate office, you know, you just overlook everything that's not relevant to what you do, and that's a mistake. Number one, it's keeping you from learning and growing as an individual, because like you could be soaking in so much game and learning from having a job, but the problem is your mind goes to sleep whenever you're actually not responsible for all that shit.
There you go.
That's the
having
difference.
having complete ownership of the thing that you're
Yes.
working on.
Yep.